What's going on, guys? Fun with Knives back again. And sometimes I buy things for all the right reasons. Sometimes I buy things for all the wrong reasons. And unfortunately, that was the case with this pen. I bought it for all the wrong reasons. Now I'm going to try something different today, and that is reviewing a pen. This is the CRKT Tao Tactical pen. It was designed by Alan Elishewitz. And that's why I bought it, because it was a tactical pen. I bought it a couple years back when that was really the fad, and honestly I bought it for three reasons. It was aluminum. I was really infatuated with aluminum as a handle material at the time. I actually really do love aluminum as handle material and as a pen material, but it was OD green. I loved OD green, and I still do. But really, I bought it because it said tactical. I thought that was cool at the time, and obviously my tastes have evolved over time, and I'm thankful for that. But I'm lucky enough that this still serves a purpose in my daily life, and that it's been my main EDC pen for a long time, even though it has its quirks. So like with the knife reviews, I'm going to give you guys the specs real quick. We'll talk about its features and whether or not I recommend it and what I think it's good for. So this is made out of 6061 aircraft grade aluminum. Pretty common aluminum for this type of application. This one is anodized OD green. I do believe they have it in black and maybe one other color. This is actually discontinued. This is the original Tao tactical pen. They have a Tao 2 tactical pen. They have a second variation of this, which I haven't really looked into. Maybe they improved upon some of the things I have complaints about. This does come with a nylon fabric case, CRKT case. I don't know if the black one comes with the black one or not, but I thought this OD green case was kind of cool. It originally had some foam lining in the bottom down here, but it kind of stripped out, so I just yanked it out. And I don't know what I'm going to use this for, because obviously I don't use it for the pen, but I guess you can make a little fire kit, survival kit or something. So kind of a cool feature. Definitely not necessary. I think it's kind of weird it came with this, but still much appreciated. So weight on this guy is 1.7 ounces, and the overall length is 5 3/4 inches. So nearly 6 inches of pen here when it's has the cap on it, of course, not when it's capless. There you go. I do not have, however, the diameter of the pen. I'm guessing it's over 1/2 inch, because if you look here, I believe this ZT is roughly 1/2 inch, maybe a little bit more. I think that is slightly wider at the cap. So we'll just say 0.6 inches or so for the maximum diameter up top. So it's not huge, but it's definitely not a small pen. In fact, my other EDC pen I ran for a while was this Boker bolt action micarta pen, and this is much smaller in just about every dimension, and I think much better as an EDC pen. But we'll do a review on that at some other date. Now, this is of course designed as a tactical pen. I think it's designed as a blunt force trauma impact tool more than it is a writing instrument, and that's definitely not what I bought this for. So I'm not going to speak for its ability at that, other than it would probably be pretty effective, because I would not want to be struck by this thing on any end, whether it's the actual ink cartridge end, this like brass tipped weird symbol end, or even with the cap with this weird striker. I mean, that would really suck, and it probably wouldn't do some damage. But we're going to focus on this just being a writing instrument, kind of an EDC pen. Now, this thing has ribbing all over it, all sorts of jimping and lines and everything to keep your hand in place. It's got all sorts of traction points. So for something made entirely out of aluminum, it's pretty damn grippy. In fact, if you were going to use this in the rain and say write in the rain, it'd probably be pretty okay in your hand. It'd probably stay in there because it's very grippy. Now, I don't think I'd say it's ergonomic, really, because it's kind of a stick of aluminum, but it feels pretty natural to write with. That is with the cap off. Now, most of my complaints about this pen are about the cap, how it attaches, its size, everything like that, because I think it's a little bit bulky. So this is what it looks like when it's closed. So my main issue with this knife is the fact that it's a twist cap. Oh, I said knife with this pen. Sorry guys, I review a lot of knives and no pens. My main issue with this pen is that it's a twist cap pen, meaning that it takes a ridiculously long time to get this thing into action. Let's say I needed to jot down a number or something to pick up at the store, something I was going to forget later. I pull out my EDC notebook, pull out my pen. Usually I have something in this hand, maybe my phone, you know, I don't know. There's all sorts of things I could be holding. So I take this out and I need to do one of these numbers. I got to twist this thing, get it off, get it back in, and then twist it on so I don't lose that cap. And now I'm ready to write. Contrast that with a simple click pen like this. You pull this out, you click it, and you're ready to write. It takes a ridiculously long time to get this thing into action. It's kind of hard to do it one-handed. I mean, I haven't perfected it, but I'm much better at it than I used to be. But that is just it's not ridiculous. It's just not my style. And if I would have known that at the time, I would have bought it. But it's kind of the nature of the beast with these cap style pens. And it is loud as hell. I don't know if you guys can hear that aluminum on aluminum sound. Wow, aluminum on aluminum sound. I promise I know how to speak, guys. You can't really mess with this in the office too much. People get annoyed. You can't pull this out in a board meeting and start disassembling and everything. But let's disassemble it now, get a look at the inside. This takes those basic Fisher bullet space pen ink cartridges that are very easy to find, Amazon, everything. And in fact, they last a long time. And this does have an O-ring seal to keep out all the moisture and everything so you don't ruin your pen. But it screws in nicely. I mean, this thing is actually pretty well built as far as solidity. I mean, it's tough. The threading's actually really nice, even though it's just aluminum. The cap and everything's very secure. I've never had it come unscrewed on me when I don't want to. So construction's definitely there. Fit and finish, like most CRKT things, it's pretty good. I mean, it writes really well though. When it doesn't have a cap on it, it feels like the right size. And I mean, let's say we were just gonna write fun with knives on this. It performs well as a pen, which is nice because it was designed as an impact tool first and then a pen secondly. So as a pen, it works pretty well. Now let's get back to this cap here. It is bulky. I mean, I feel like it's most of the weight when it's on the pen as you're writing, it's unbalanced. It's definitely a hell of a lot wider. I know it has to be a little bit wider, but it's a lot wider than the rest of the pen. And the clip on it is pretty decent. Even though mine's skewed, you can see it's kind of pulling in this direction. I don't know how, but it does have nice retention. And it is deep carry, so this nearly 6-inch pen buries deep in your pocket and carries very nicely. So it's nothing to throw this in my pocket in the morning. So the clip I actually like. This striker end I think is a little bit ridiculous here, but the machining on this, I don't know if you guys can see right here. The machining on this isn't great. That's kind of my main fit and finish qualm with this one. But again, I probably would hate to be struck with that striker end of this pen, so maybe it's doing its job. So, do I recommend this pen? What do I think it's good for? Well, I generally think this is a decent EDC pen. I think it's pretty quality made, but I got mine at a sale price. I believe I paid like 28 or 30 bucks for this when this thing retails, or its MSRP is $70, which is beyond ridiculous. Now, do I think it's worth 30? Depends. If you guys like the idea of having maybe a last resort pen, sure. If you guys like green aluminum like I do, yeah, it's probably worth it to you. If you don't write a lot. If you guys are finding yourself writing frequently, do not get this pen. That cap will drive you crazy. It's a whole lot of work just to get this out and write. I suggest you invest in some simple or maybe extravagant pens that actually have this sort of action that can be manipulated easily with one hand. I think this would be a decent, maybe car pen, something that could get wet that you throw in your glove box or something that you need to write on very few occasions. And really, that's about it. I mean, it's definitely not something I would consider buying now, if that makes any sense. I think I would much rather carry this day to day. I just got to replace the ink cartridge on this Boker actually than this one. But it still finds its way at least into a bag, whether that's my shooting bag to mark things, or you know, it's my school bag and I end up using it at school for one day of class or something. I still get quite a bit of use out of this, and I'm actually kind of glad I bought it and learned from my poor buying habits of the past, where I'd buy things strictly based on color and what it was named. So yeah, it's decent, but no, I don't really recommend it. But if you like the style, you like how it looks, the color, and you don't write that frequently, sure, I think it's a decent option. So thanks for watching, guys, as always, and remember, have fun with your pens.